A smokescreen, a cloud of smoke which is created to conceal military operations. Has Tim Steidten played the most smoke screen hand known to man? He's got a bit of a history of doing it, and I wonder if this is what has happened this time around. Now, according to reports today, West Ham have started entering into conversations regarding bringing the German international Borussia Dortmund striker Nicholas Fullkrug to West Ham this summer because we couldn't strike a deal with Aston Villa and John Duran. So bringing in Fullkrug, as I've said and showed you yesterday, 31 years old, striker, German international, valued around £50 million, and doesn't really set the world alight in terms of what the fans are necessarily looking for. Apparently, he's open to moving to the club, but I can't help but think that this one is a smokescreen. I can't help but think this is a smokescreen so West Ham can actually bring in their main target, their main guy, the Colombian international, who's valued at £40 million, who plays for Aston Villa, John Duran, because I'm telling you right now, Aston Villa are not going to get that money again. Aston Villa are not going to get the money that West Ham have offered them again, and I think this is how we have to force them to play their hand. And it looks like West Ham are willing to walk away from a deal from Fullkrug to bring in John Duran. I can't help but think this is how they're going to start pushing the boundaries, making Aston Villa move. Aston Villa are putting offers in for players left, right, and centre, and one of their biggest assets that they're willing to sell right now is this geezer right here, is him. And if we're looking at other deals, this is the one that we want to bring in. I can't help but think that Tim Steidten is playing a bit of inside knowledge. He knows exactly what he is doing. Now, listen, I'll be honest with you. Bringing in Fullkrug, I think, could actually be a bit of a clever bit of business. I don't think it's an awful thing, but it just would surprise me that we would just give up so blatantly the way we have with John Duran. If there was, because we're not led to believe that there's no deal done. We're led to believe that there's communications involved and there is a potential option there. So I think this is something to keep an eye out. I think a smokescreen could be the case here. This could be an option. We may see a bit more movement on the John Duran potential deal over the next couple of days. But it looks like West Ham haven't given up hope of a number one target. And again, like I said, when you make an offer for a player who's got the stats, so read the stats, and we know Aston Villa are willing to sell, and you make them an offer of £30+ million and you knock it back, who in the line and long list of line of teams are going to come in and pay that money? And right now, I can't see anyone. And right now, I don't see anyone else doing it. So Aston Villa could be doing themselves out of a financial piece of money. But like I said, and like I've mentioned before, bringing in Fullkrug could be a shrewd piece of business. And I just wonder, would West Ham look at bringing in both? But the thing is, if you're bringing in one or both, you're going to need to look at options for getting players out. Danny Ings, I'm not saying Antonio, but Danny Ings in particular. And the problem you've got with Danny Ings is his value, what he's worth, and how much he earns per week, which is going to stipulate where he goes. But the whole point of this one for you is, I think that the Fullkrug potential deal could be a little bit of a cheeky smokescreen for West Ham to try and push the pressure onto Aston Villa to sell John Duran to us. That deal is not done. Keep an eye on it. Stay tuned and come on, you Irons.